EAs kept her stuck, and where everything revolved around how much money he could make from her. And instead of even trying to address any of it, Jack was out there doing the same chaotic moves, forcing his way into events he wasn't invited to, arguing with other creators and saying the wildest things possible just to get clips.
Literally was excited over the fact that we were going to make the most money we
ever made in our lives. It wasn't because he was excited to have a baby with me and have a family and have it start a new era.
It's like the goal isn't respect anymore. It's just
Viral moments at any cost. This didn't just come out of nowhere either. Jack Doherty has been building this reputation for a while now. He blew up by bothering random people in real life, then hiding behind security when things got serious. Add in the streams of adult content creators, messy situations, and constant chaos. And
Hey,
people
kitty.
quickly stopped seeing it
How
as
you doing, buddy?
entertaining and started seeing it as uncomfortable.
I got my arm
Over
around
time,
you.
that
How's
attention
that?
turned into
Huh?
straight up hate.
Get your
To the point where now,
Ugh.
whenever something bad happens
Nuggy.
to him, people don't feel bad at all. They celebrate it. You'll literally see comments like, "Every day when Jack is having a bad day is a good day," and "When I saw he lost everything, I smiled." That kind of reaction doesn't just appear randomly. It builds over time from repeated behavior. The last time he went viral wasn't any better either. He tried to fake a robbery, spiraled publicly after his breakup, and even ended up calling the police during the chaos.
were not hiding anywhere. Like, we were in a party bus, like very out in the open. And I was sitting in my seat, every type of thing, freaking out, so much anxiety. And then I hear the car door open. And I pop my head up, and I'm like, okay, everyone's back, like, finally time to go. When I looked up from the seat, I make eye contact with a guy I'd never seen before in a surgical mask. Like, it wasn't the two guys in shiesties that I had seen, it was a guy with a bag, a gun.
The whole situation felt forced, messy, and honestly embarrassing to watch. And while people already had some idea why McKinley Richardson left him, nobody expected just how serious things actually were behind the scenes. That's when everything really escalated. In October 2025, McKinley appeared on a podcast hosted by Camilla Rouge, someone who had also been around Jack's circle before. The interview was split into 2 long parts and packed with claims that painted a completely different picture of him.
And I looked at him. He said, "Who's in this party bus?" I didn't think he knew I was in there. So when I popped up and like made eye contact with him, I thought maybe it would spook him and that he would like get out. And then I saw him hop over the seat into the van. And in this van, like, you're able to stand up fully straight up. He started running like towards me, and I was like, I'm dead. Like, this is the time I like, either get like, you know, killed or something horrible. And I just remember saying, like, please, no. Like, I just was begging him. I was like, you can have everything, like, of mine. You can have my purse, you can have my money. I couldn't find my purse anywhere. I was like, where the fuck is it? I was like, please help me find it.
A huge part of what she talked about came down to one thing: his obsession with content. Not just making videos, but pushing every situation as far as possible just to get views. And people had already seen hints of that before. Like when he crashed his McLaren, instead of focusing on safety or checking on his injured friend, he instantly started filming. One comment even said he crashed going 71 miles per hour while reading chat on a highway full of rain, then handed a camera to his hurt friend just to keep recording. That alone had people calling his behavior disturbing. But even that wasn't the worst of it. McKinley also shared a situation from August at one of those takeover events in Los Angeles. The kind with huge crowds, street racing, and a lot of chaos.
Take your stuff? What the fuck? I need to get here fucking that. I don't know. McKinley, where's the key? Where's the key?
But that was the most real trauma.
After going to multiple spots that night, she stayed behind on the tour bus because she had a bad feeling. While she was alone, someone got in, and in that moment, it was straight fear. Thankfully, the situation didn't get worse, but her belongings were taken, and it could have gone way differently. After everything, she called Jack back, clearly
Damn,
shaken.
son.
And instead of
Please,
focusing on her
Walter.
safety, he reportedly saw it as content. Even when she she kept going. That moment for her was real fear, but for him, it was another viral opportunity. He didn't stop there either. She also talked about an older screen from November 2023 where he flipped a golf cart while she was sitting next to him.
He was toxic in the beginning. Why was I with him? But he wasn't. He was amazing. And I want people to know that, like, I didn't put myself in a toxic situation, but he was so different in the beginning. And I know, like, what people see of him online, like, it's obviously negative and all this stuff, but that wasn't who I fell for. It was not that. It was a protector. It was a provider. It was someone that had respect for me and, you know, just made sure I was okay and opening the car door for me, taking me out to dinner. Very respectful.
At the time, people thought it was just reckless or an accident, but according to her, it was done on purpose. What made it worse was how he handled it after, brushing it off like nothing serious happened and trying to convince her she was okay. Even until she went to the hospital on her own and showed up. And even then, it felt more like he was there to film than actually care. On camera, everything looked normal. But behind the scenes, he described arguments going way too far and situations that didn't match the image people were seeing. And that's what she said it was completely different. He treated her well, made her feel safe, and made her feel valued. There was a point where she actually believed in the relationship and could see a future with him.
Just start laughing. I didn't think it was funny. I guess they were just like, everyone else do it very awkward. Yeah, he made everyone else do it. Which was, it's sad looking back on it because that was something I respected. I was like, I respect the fact that he understands that.
Even knowing how he acted online, she thought that side of him didn't apply to how he treated her privately. She even said she was okay with parts of his lifestyle, as long as she wasn't dragged into it. That was her boundary. But over time, things started to change. His priorities became clear, the focus kept going back to content and money. When she pushed back, that's when things allegedly shifted. That's when the pressure started building, slowly but consistently, until it turned into something she couldn't ignore anymore. Assuming everything she said in that podcast is true, it starts to explain a lot about why he treated her so well in the beginning. It wasn't just random kindness. It looks more like a setup, building trust, getting close, making her feel safe. Also, he could later use that trust to expand his business even further. After that, he changed his mind and avoided getting pulled into it.
Access to my accounts and all this stuff. The disrespect started showing. Like, he was not as respectful as he was in the beginning. A dinner, you can forget about it. We never went on dates. We never did anything like how we did.
Mother! Oh, god damn it.
You know, content. So I was like, how do you keep up with all of this stuff?
But Jack already had everything planned out way ahead of time. And while he didn't technically force her to sign anything, the situation around it makes things look very different. When someone is constantly being
Seriously,
pressured,
buddy?
emotionally pulled in, and made to feel like they owe something, it becomes way easier to say yes, even when you don't fully want to. That itself didn't make things better either. It reportedly gave him control over her social platforms and a large cut of her future earnings. And for McKinley, that was just the start of everything going downhill fast. At first, there was that heavy love-bombing energy, constant attention, affection, making everything feel perfect. But the moment she signed, that version of him disappeared.
And I'm exhausted. Like, how does your life, like, how do you continue to do this? And he was like, it's Adderall. You should try. He was like, you will be successful. I'm not proud of it at all. But I had a horrible Adderall addiction dating him because of him telling me I needed to keep up with him. And also, it's like when Jack's face is somewhere, I was always there. I had to
Focus shifted to money, content, and how much he could get out of her. And that's when another side of him allegedly started showing up too. One that was way more concerning. According to her, he had a serious issue with prescription stimulants, despite not having a clear medical reason to be using them. And it didn't just affect him. She claimed he pushed that same lifestyle onto people around him, including her, just to keep up with his non-stop content schedule. That alone explains a lot about his behavior. The energy, the chaos, the constant need for attention. Like one comment put it, addicted to drugs plus addicted to attention, that's a bad combination. And honestly, that line hits hard when you look at everything together, but even that wasn't the full story. She also talked about how he allegedly cheated, flirted openly with other girls right in front of her, and constantly put her down both on and off camera. From her perspective, the relationship wasn't built on anything real. It was about money, content, and control, and nothing made that clearer than one moment that completely changed everything.
I told him, and he didn't seem surprised whatsoever. He was like, W. He literally was excited over the fact that we were going to make the most money we've ever made in our lives. It wasn't because he was excited to have a baby with me and have a family and have it start a new era of our life. It was, oh my gosh, we're going to start a family YouTube channel and you're going to make so much money when you're pregnant and you have a pregnant belly.
At one point, she tested positive on a pregnancy test. For most people, that kind of news would be serious, emotional, something that brings two people closer together. She expected some kind of real reaction, maybe even a shift in how things were going. But according to her, that's not what happened at all. Instead, his first thoughts reportedly went straight back to content and planning. And while he was upfront about where his mind was at, that honesty ended up being the wake-up call she needed. After talking it through with others, she made the decision to not move forward with the pregnancy, saying she didn't want to bring a child into that kind of situation. That moment became a turning point. It gave her the clarity and the push to finally start separating herself from everything that was going on. Now before going further, it's important to keep things fair. While a lot of Jack's behavior has been public for years, not every claim from the podcast came with direct proof. Some people online have pointed that out, along with questioning certain parts of her story and decisions after the relationship ended. At the same time, a huge part of the internet is still willing to believe her based on his past actions and the patterns people have already seen. A clear response from Jack Doherty cleared things up either way. But so far, he hasn't really addressed it properly, and ignoring it doesn't seem to be working. The backlash has been non-stop, no matter where he posts. YouTube, TikTok, anywhere. The comments are flooded with people calling him out or demanding accountability. And it's not just talk, either. His numbers have taken a hit. Videos that used to pull in huge views are now struggling to even reach what they used to. But it doesn't stop online. He's been getting called out.
Can't believe I made it through that intersection.
One of the biggest moments was when he tried to sneak into TwitchCon by using one of the girls around him to distract security. It worked for a second, but not for long. Within minutes, security caught up to him and he got removed from the event. That whole plan to cause chaos and go viral completely failed. And instead of backing off, he doubled down and started saying offensive things just to get attention. When Peach Jars called him out, he tried to spin it into a bigger moment, but she didn't play into it and just walked away. It made him look more desperate. Then things got worse. Soulja Boy, often referred to online as Soulja, approached him in the crowd and started questioning him about past crypto-related issues and claims about fans losing money. That pressure clearly got to him, because not long after he lashed out again. And it didn't end there either. Another creator, Daniel Joseph, confronted him in front of a crowd, completely embarrassing him and later sharing it to a bigger audience online.
No. Back up. Go. Back up. No. Go Charlotte now. Go Charlotte now. You want to go with him? You're funny. You want to be fucking funny. Go Charlotte now. You want to be funny? You're going to big on the fucking screen. You know who the fuck you think you are, bro? No, you're fucking not. After I fucking do this, who the fuck are you, bro? I was trying to walk up the street. Doesn't matter, bro. All you had to do was get in the fucking silo. That's it.
All of this happened in one night, and every moment just made things worse for him. At this point, he's basically become the internet's punching bag. People walk up, say whatever they want to his face, and the crowd cheers it on. But even that doesn't equal real consequences for everything that's been said about him. For a moment, it looked like those consequences might finally start catching up. On November 15th, he was arrested in Florida for possession of illegal substances, which many believe were the same stimulants mentioned earlier. He tried to act calm, like it wasn't a big deal, but this time, there was no bodyguard to step in and fix things. It was a reality check right in front of everyone. Unfortunately, he was released on bail less than a day later, and just like that, he was back online doing the same things again. That said, the situation isn't fully over. He could still be facing serious legal trouble with the possibility of years behind bars if things go in that direction. And even if that doesn't happen, even if he walks away with a lighter punishment, the damage to his reputation is already done. His career is slipping fast. People aren't watching because they support him anymore. They're watching to laugh, to criticize, to see what goes wrong next. And once even that attention fades, there's not much left. So if you've been keeping up with everything, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts down below. And I'll catch you.
How we doing out there? Our guys still have a pulse? Because if not, this just became a very different kind of favor you're doing for me. I mean, I'm grateful either way. Just hoping we can keep things simple.
Had a pretty good start. When he first set out to meet his father in Athens, he shows to prove his valor by traveling along an abandoned and infested Saronic wolf. And during this journey, he rid the land of its six most notorious criminals. He then, of course, went to Crete, where he slew the Minotaur, freeing Athens from the subjugation of King Minos. He accomplished this with the help of Ariadne, having sworn to make her his wife in return. Then they sailed out to the island of Naxos, and this is where things take a sharp turn. Though there are differing accounts of what exactly happened. The most common version of events has Theseus abandoning Ariadne in her sleep. Then upon waking, she either committed not alive on herself, or the god Dionysus fell in love with her and swept her away to make her his wife. Ariadne had several children with Dionysus, and eventually he was made immortal and worshipped as a goddess on Naxos. It should be noted that some accounts absolve Theseus of wrong. Dionysus presents a version where Dionysus actually visits him in a dream and forces him to very tragic account where Theseus ships ended up at Naxos after being blown off course by a storm. Ariadne was pregnant and extremely needy, so she went off to the island. But then the storm picked up again and pushed Theseus' ship back out to sea. The women of Naxos cared for Ariadne in her dream and sent her letters to Theseus. But the poor girl fell sick and he was away for some time. Eventually, Theseus returned to the island and apart from his men and engaged with Naxos The next big mishap in Theseus' life was beginning to raise white sails on his return to Athens in the last signal of victory against the Minotaur. This caused his father Aegeus to cast himself into the ocean. This blunder would have been a little forgivable if you were to assume that Theseus was grief-stricken over Ariadne, but if that wasn't the case, then the only takeaway is that he was deceived. With Aegeus dead, Theseus was now the most eligible to inherit the throne of Athens, much to the dismay of his
Outsource your
Palantides. They hatched a scheme to kill Theseus, planning to separate into two groups. One meant to bait Theseus out of the city, and the other waiting in ambush on his captive. But the herald of the Palantides, a man named Leos, betrayed them by divulging their whole plot to Theseus. And he ambushed the ambushers, killing them all and sending the other group running home. After becoming king of Athens, Theseus eventually put back up his century copy and summoned Heracles on his quest to the land of the Amazon. Wait, when exactly is this supposed to be taking place? Has Medea tried to kill you yet? Yeah, so this is after you were with the Argonauts. Was I with the Argonauts? Yeah, you're supposed to be trapped in Hades then, and that hasn't even happened. Don't you swear? Hey guys, let's not worry about the timeline. It's just gonna get more confusing the more you try and untangle it. Yeah, you're right. Fair enough. Anyway, Theseus kidnapped the Amazonian princess Antiope to make her his queen.
What brings you in today?
Had a son named Hippolytus, and apparently Antiope decided, you know what, I'm actually pretty happy here. There are worse guys to get kidnapped by and forced to bear children with. However, this marriage wouldn't last. After the death of King Minos, his son Deucalion took over Crete, and Deucalion sought to end his terrible hostilities with Athens, so he betrothed his sister Phaedra to Theseus. After being dumped for the Cretan princess, Antiope decided to crash Theseus and Phaedra's wedding with her Amazonian gal pals. and Theseus was forced to slay her in battle. And I thought my ex-wife was a pain to deal with. Theseus and Phaedra then had 2 sons, but unfortunately, this marriage wouldn't last long either. The downfall of their relationship is told in detail by the Greek playwright Euripides. Phaedra's stepson Hippolytus was a devotee of Artemis, and he scorned the goddess Aphrodite for lack of interest in all things carnal. This pissed Aphrodite off, so to get him in trouble, she made Phaedra fall madly in love with Hippolytus, and the queen's distress over her unnatural desires caused her to fall ill. After being implored by her concerned nurse, Phaedra confessed her secret in confidence. The nurse then went to Hippolytus and confessed Phaedra's feelings on her behalf, and Hippolytus fell into a disgusted rage. "Didn't you read my Twitter bio? What part of Arrow Ace do you not understand?" "Oh, I thought that was just because you're really into archery." With her shame exposed, Phaedra promptly for her husband, falsely accusing Hippolytus of assaulting her. Theseus then banished his son and prayed to the god Poseidon to avenge Phaedra on his behalf. And as Hippolytus was leaving on his chariot, a monstrous bull emerged from the sea, sending the horses into a panic and causing him to get tangled in the reins and dragged behind him. After hearing the news of this incident, Theseus was visited by Artemis to reveal Phaedra's obsession. "Why didn't you tell me this before I told Poseidon to kill my innocent son?" "Just a second, Artemis. You're already a literal deus ex machina." And Theseus visited his dying son to beg his forgiveness and share a tearful goodbye. And I thought,
Damn, that was close.
by this time, word of Theseus' heroism had spread far and wide, and Pirithous, king of the Lapiths, decided to put his reputation to the test. He stole Theseus' cattle, and when
Fresh meat! I want to hear the sound of you not speaking, my friend. Get over here to the freak shop. We got shit to discuss. Probably. We definitely got drugs, though. Just get over here.
centaurs were also invited. However, being unaccustomed to wine, the horsemen got absolutely sloshed and attempted to abduct all the women in sight. And Theseus and Pirithous took up their weapons to fight. "May I join the fray, fellow dudes at arms?" "Oh, Canius, congratulations on your transition. You look great, man. And wow, your voice is so deep now." "Thanks, guys. The magic HRT Poseidon gave me did wonders. It also made my skin completely impenetrable, which is a nice plus." Ow, 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 ow. Well, and after a long...
Federal officials cut Medicare to 500 LA hospices with 0 complaints. What?
Contracted with the city and county of Los Angeles to house and feed up to 600 homeless people, but instead he was misusing tens of millions of dollars to live a luxurious life. Exclusive Fox video shows the Fed's early morning bust here at the LA mansion. 42-year-old Alexander Suker was arrested. Suker's $125,000 Land Rover was also seized by law enforcement. The Fed says Suker defrauded the city and county of LA out of $23
No, I think this is... Wait, this might be another guy.
million in taxpayer dollars for not only his mansion and car, but a second home in Greece, luxury
Second home and...
designer clothes, and private schools.
Wow.
He was living the high life while the people suffering homelessly on the streets with no shelter, no food. They're living out in the streets. People are literally dying. And this guy is out vacationing, buying homes, buying Range Rovers, and going shopping.
It's a disgrace, man.
Prosecutors say Suker was supposed to provide 3 nutritional meals a day to the homeless, but during one inspection, Suker only had canned beans and ramen noodles on hand. The Fed say Suker lied about various aspects of abundant blessings, including fake vendors, facilities, and the homeless actually getting meals. The U.S. Attorney's Office says they are actively investigating at least 12 other similar fraud cases here in California. First Assistant U.S. Attorney Bill O'Shaley says there's a tremendous amount of fraud in this state, and that today's bust of one man who misused $23 million alone may show how little oversight there is.
Well, the oversight not existing is a feature, not a bug. The reason why they don't have oversight is it's basically an informal bribery program that LA has with all of their voters, where basically they create a bribery program where they fund the lifestyles of a bunch of people that are functionally fucking worthless and useless. And they let these people sit around, do nothing, steal stuff, and cause problems. And all those people do is they show up every 2 or 4 years and they continue voting to keep the gravy train running. And all the other people in the companies that are actually profitable and successful in California are subsidizing this lifestyle. That's really it. I'd be curious if this guy donates to politicians. I wouldn't be surprised, I'll tell you that.
California was pushing this money out quickly. A lot of money went out the door with, frankly, very little vetting, very little checks and balances. And he's one of the individuals that got it.
Oh my God.
Make his first appearance.
Jesus, bro. $125,000 Land Rover. Holy shit. A mansion in LA and a second home in Greece. 500 fraudulent hospice facilities closed down in California. Where are you? Think about that. That's 500 hospices? Think about how many that is. That's insane. That's crazy. So I don't even see how something like this can happen. How do you allow to have fraud on that insane of a level? And they want to arrest people like Nick Shirley? Of course they do, because Nick Shirley is fucking with the system. The system, you pay these people to sit around and do nothing, and then they vote for you. So if you take away the payments, then you take away their funding, and these people have to leave, or they might vote for something different, or they're in one way or another not beholden to you. And the goal that they have is they want to make people basically reliant on the government for everything, so they can never afford to not vote for more advantages like this. Doctor, this is it right here?
Arguing that this rooting out of fraud Medicaid services. What is your response to that?
No. Well, I mean, I think that honestly they are going to cut Medicaid services, and people probably will die because of this. Like, this is inevitable. Like, I don't think that they should use the messaging and say that, oh, well, we're not going to have any, we're never going to have any collateral damage. Like, we are going to have collateral damage. It's unavoidable, right? Whenever you're making decisions and you have hundreds and thousands of these places that you're shutting down, mistakes will be made, and people will be left without care that shouldn't have had the care. And if you didn't want that to happen, you should have run your system better, so we didn't have to take this dramatic, extreme action to undo all the mistakes that you have made systematically. So this is like the reframing of, like, not only is it okay that these mistakes happen, but the mistakes are the fault of those people. Those mistakes are a second-order effect of them not holding anybody accountable for these numbers. That's really what I think. What happens to the people that donate to politicians to keep doing what they're doing in order to keep making money? Well, I mean, I think you just charge them and put them in jail, right? It's pretty simple.
Well, they know it's manufactured. That's why when they say they sort of like sheepishly mention the possibility that you might once in a while hurt someone's innocent. I argue that if you take a child with autism and you give them the services they need, you give great service. It's the right thing to do. We're great people. We'll always help folks in need. But if every mother is pretending because they're getting paid that the children in the neighborhood have autism, which is bad for those kids, by the way.
And you're seeing that.
And we're seeing that in Minnesota.
I don't know why the framing is this fucked up. But anyway, like, telling kids they have autism fucks with their brain. Like, I think that you shouldn't, like, maybe this is just my opinion, right? But I don't think you should tell kids that there's something wrong with them. Like, unless it's, like, a really, really big issue, like, it's better to try to let a kid try to live a normal life than tell them that, like, there are all these things wrong with you, and so this explains every interaction that you're ever going to have, right? I think it's very dangerous to do that. Unless they're fat or gay, of course.
Take a budget from $3 million to $400 million. You do that by
3 to 400
training programs and manufacturing services that aren't supposed to be used. But what you're doing is you're turning a child who really has autism to get them to access services, and you're disrupting the entire system. We're seeing the same thing in California with hospice, where you have 1/3 of all the hospitals.
Do you think we should be reimbursed? I think that we should absolutely be reimbursed, and I think that what we should do, so this is what I would do, is I would figure out all the people that were in on the fraud, and I would imprison them for the amount of time that it would take for them to work off the labor debt of the amount of money that they defrauded us. So like, let's say you defrauded us for like, you know, somebody said like $23 million. I guess you're in jail for 23 million years, right? Like, I don't know. And like, that would be, and I would seize all their assets, take all of their stuff. And, you know, if they were obviously like immigrants or something like that, or they're naturalized citizens from another place, I would denaturalize them, seize all their assets, and send them to like Rwanda or something, right? Like, that's what I would do. And because I think that we should get our money back, right? I mean, they came here, they scammed us. We should get our money back because we got scammed, right? And it's our money, it's not their money. So that's what I would do. You need to build a lot of prisons. I know. And I think that we could have them doing that, right? You could have them building their own prisons. That's a good idea. Just put like shot collars on them or something like that. And that way, if they try to like do something wrong, you just zap them, right? It's pretty fucking easy.
Entry are in Los Angeles.
And like, by the way, like, I'm being completely serious about this. Like, this is actually what I think we should do. Like, actually, this is what I think we should do. Yeah, 100%.
Not California, just LA. I mean, how many people are dying there? Yeah. And so you obviously have allowed for a red flag. And I'll make this announcement on your show.
Where you get the idea from? I don't know.
450 hospices in California.
450.
Guess what? Not one has called us asking to read the details. Wow.
So 450 out of 450 were frauds. And nobody's calling to be reinstituted because they know what they were doing was fraud, and they were just trying to ride the gravy train all the way down to the station as far as they can possibly go. Of course, you like Dr. Oz? I love him. I think he's great. I didn't like him whenever he was running against John Fetterman. I didn't like Dr. Oz. But, you know, he's in a role that he really understands. I think he's incredibly competent in that role, and I think that what he's doing is something that's invaluable, something that's necessary. And we're very favorable
all
to
that time ago.
We need to be mindful of the time. But in 10 weeks, we've shut down 450 payment systems for these guys. That's representing at least $600, $700 million just this year. And no one's complaining.
That's right. And like, yeah, it's the same thing with the Minnesota daycares. How is it that we could shut down all those daycares and bring all that up and all the daycares stop working? Then nobody's complaining about their kids not having somewhere to go. Like, wouldn't you expect that if you have hundreds of these kids on the rolls, the attendance roll, and you have, you know, hundreds of these places, that you would have like a massive outcry of these people that were furious that their benefits are being taken away? Why aren't leftist streamers talking about this fraud? The reason why is because the fraud subsidizes the demographics that they want to bring into the country. That's the reason why. So the reason why leftists like the fraud is because the fraud is necessary as a form of welfare in order to allow the demographics that they want to ethnically replace people in America. They want those demographics to come in, but those people can't make a living here unless it's fraud, unless it's some form of manipulation, like illegal under-the-table labor. So that's the reason why. Yeah, fraud, free, the illegals, exactly. It's first scheme. Dude, so weird now? Well, let me get this straight. So you say this is weird. What about what I'm saying isn't true? I'm going to pull you up. We haven't pulled it. You're so weird now. What about what I said? Go ahead. What is it? I want to understand this. I want to get to the bottom of it. What about this? What about what I'm saying is true? Another my feelings, Andy. Yeah, and if you vague post, you're permaban. Any vague post is a permaban. Be specific or you're banned. We gotta wait for it. Surely there's gonna be something that's saying Democrats want this. You know that isn't true. Well, why do you think that isn't true? Why do you think that isn't true? Like, I think they do. I think their entire voting structure is built around creating people that are basically serfs to the government, and then keeping those people on the government payroll, and those people afraid to vote against them because they might get taken off the payroll. I think that's exactly what's happening. Well, how is it not obvious that they're the ones that want this? I'm confused. They're buying votes. They're obviously buying votes. Every time you do this, you call out it's a minority group. Democrats scream racism. What does he mean? They don't want this? Yeah, of course. Well, they use racism as a way to suppress criticism. They say, well, you can't say this because it's a minority group doing this, and so if you criticize it, it's, you know, by abstraction, it's racism. Too bad. Call whatever you want. It's still true.
The hell?
That's just the way it is. There's no example at all. It's very obvious that they're doing this, right? I mean, like, why do you think this is happening in all these leftist groups? It looks like there's no response at all. This person's taking too long to respond. Like, if you were faster, I would have let this go. But I don't want to spend, like, how long is it going to take to just type out, like, what you think? And so, yeah, it's just crazy. Oh my God, it's a waste of time. Whoever still supports the government, stupid. Yeah, sure. Same thing as No Kings protest. Someone planned to seize to control the masses, to control votes. Yeah, I think so. The Democrat Party's been co-opted by communism. Well, the reality is that all these people can't live in the U.S. and they can't sustain themselves unless it's fraud. They have to basically be babysat by America in order for them to live here, right? Because they're not producing anything of value. And so because of that, well, that's why you have all this fraud. That's why you have all the scams. It's because the scams and the fraud are necessary. And you're kind of wrong about scammers. They're just peons here. I don't think that's really true. You should jail the politicians and the magistrates that allowed this to happen, not only the scammers. Oh, I agree with you. I would pull you up and argue with you, but I think that we basically agree. I mean, you're saying that the politicians are the ones that are allowing it to happen. I think you're right. You are, and I'm totally fine with that. But either way, let's see here. One more.
The hospices. We've already shut down 500 hospitals in Los Angeles. And incidentally, we haven't had one call from Congress or anybody else about complaining because clearly people fraudulent. A lot of these places keep saying they'd have, they were just invented addresses. They would obtain patient identification.
They bullshit addresses?
Or they would pay people. They were going and giving people in poor neighborhoods flat screen television.
See, what you need to do is you need to get every single one of those poor people in the neighborhood. You need to put every single one of them in jail. Every single one. And then put them on mandatory work programs, figure out how much they defrauded, and then after that, they have to work all of that off.
$600.
I can guarantee you that society will be a better place without those people in it. Guaranteed. Like, anybody who's scamming the government like that, we don't need them.
And they would enlist them, enroll them in the hospice, and we were paying them $6,000.
Yeah.
We've already shut down 500 hospices.
12 cents an hour? Yeah, I like that.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, I like that. 12 cents an hour, that seems pretty reasonable. You see the exit count of the dude that was mad that you can't see up Diana's dress and Pragmatic got suspended, $6. I didn't see that. Just seems like a weirdo. I mean, again, it's not really that complicated, but their phone goes to voice rail, location is entry. Okay, all right, one more.
What's up, you guys? I'm here in Signal Hill at 2930 Gardena Avenue, where Angelus Hospice Incorporated, actually titled under Panacea Hospice, doing business as Angelus Hospice, doesn't have its door open, has a business card. Guy next door says they've changed.
I mean, it looks like an empty building. I mean, I'm sorry, there's no sign anywhere, there's no label on the door, there's no documentation on the sides here, except for probably like a building code inspection. This looks like an empty fucking building.
Locations, and in 2025 they filed for bankruptcy, and 2 months later it was settled, and they're back in operation doing what they do best. So let's give them a call. 980-0046. They had one review 9 months ago where someone said that they were always in a rush, left before the hour was up, and when their family member was dying, oh man, they're so busy that they don't have time to answer the phone. So they're...
That's not being able to answer the phone. That is you called a fake number. Like, that's like you called a number that doesn't exist. That's a different thing than a voicemail.
One review said that when their family member was dying, they called for an immediate nurse for assistance. They were super confused and frightened as to the process of their loved one dying. The hospice care nurse didn't show up until several hours later after the patient had died. And a one-star review saying mediocre at best. Always left it.
This is like a movie. It's like a couple, oh my God.
Early, didn't really care about the client. And the review even went on and they cut it off. And when I tried to find the review, it was removed off of Yelp. And only 2 reviews from a year ago that have 5 stars are on there now. So they've been open for almost 9 years. Okay, in 2023, they billed Medicare $1.2 million, and they had 4,334 days of hospice care within the year, meaning...
Yeah, I think that we need to put these people, we need to put them on hard labor and make them work off every cent of this. And they need to be working for like 12 cents an hour. Like, basically, you're going to jail for the rest of your life with mandatory labor, and that's it. You shouldn't have scammed. Shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have done it. It's too much, too long, and that's it. We're all paying for this? Yeah, I know. It's crazy, isn't it? Oh my God.
They had, I believe, 78 enrollees. We're going to check back more. In 2022, they only had 20 Medicare beneficiaries and only pulled in about 210,000. But then it bumped up in 2023 to 1.2 million. So we're going to keep checking this out, but no one's at this address. The guy said they moved. It's all over the place. And the owners have several more healthcare and hospice agencies in this area. So let's keep on moving.
So if you get to you some of the people that are on their their attendance roll, I guarantee you some of those people are on the payroll too. Like, they're the ones that are getting paid off under the table for this. This is super common, and a lot of people don't know about this because it's like a fucking, it's like a ghetto scam, right? But like, yeah, this is super, super, super common. How we do travel restrictions and ankle bracelets where we let them work in public for 3/5 the wages? 3/5 seems like too easy of a compromise. I think it's more like 1/5, okay? Like, and even 1/5 is like, you
Hello,
know,
this is Pegasus Lifestyle Management. We haven't heard from you for a while. We are still the #1 source of luxury and specialty transportation needs in Los Santos. We hope to keep your business. Goodbye.
And 5 extra financial auditors, government employees, and you cut the cost of the taxpayer in half. I know. Yeah, all you have to do is find out where these scammers are going and what they're doing, and things will change very, very quickly. I think so, at least. You raised a demon. You raised a demon, and he got put down. That's what happened.
In the organisation's history, but critics will say, all right,
the hell?
100 of them have been killed.
They got killed by a ninja tree.
Rifles have been apprehended along with drugs and 113
90 rifles. Totally, totally innocent, right, guys?
arrests have been made. But the drug game will have the resources to replace all of those rather quickly.
You're so insensitive, they're doing what they can to make a living? Of course I'm insensitive. Why would I allow people like this to control my emotions whenever I know that obviously a drug game that uses guns and terrorizes people is bad? Like, we already know this is bad. I know that there are some people that commit crime and they feel like they have to commit crime. I understand that, but whenever you do it, it's still a problem. Like, I can understand it. But whenever you tell me that I'm insensitive, I could also say that you are also insensitive to the people that are victims of this behavior. It's always easy for you to think about the direct result because it's being portrayed by a media organization here. And this is France here. You've got to keep in mind, France is busy selling out their own country to migrants that go into their country and rape their own citizens, okay? So I wouldn't necessarily listen to anything out of France and be like, oh, okay, these are the real moral arbiters of the way a country should be run. Okay, number one. Number two, the other thing is that you don't think about the victims that get hurt by these individuals. You don't think about the families that are destroyed whenever these people kill other people. And so all
switching
you do
characters.
is look at these victims who, in a lot of cases, I think were probably gang members. They probably did have guns. How do you think 4 police officers randomly died? Right? There you go. If France 24 has left this meeting, yeah, it's bullshit. And so you tell me that I don't have empathy or sympathy, or I'm not I'm not thinking about it. I'm not, I'm being insensitive. I'm actually the only one that is sensitive because I can see the greater good in the bigger picture. Where these people are painting a lie in order to co-opt your emotions to make you side with drug dealer murderers, the reality is that these people are terrorists. They terrorize their own community. They terrorize surrounding communities. And to the extent that they can, they'll terrorize the whole world. That's what they do. So, no, I'm not insensitive. I'm the only one that is sensitive. I'm the only one that doesn't let my emotions get the best of me whenever I see somebody crying. Oh, wow, somebody's crying. Who cares? What about the people that do you believe in a hope for redemption? I don't care about redemption. Why would I give a fuck about that? Like, do you think that I'm thinking about their best interests? Who gives a fuck about what their best interests are?
What are you talking about, my best interest? How do you know what my best interest is?
Can help them, then it would be
What are you
better
trying to say?
help
I'm crazy?
them. But who gives a fuck? Were they thinking of anybody else's redemption whenever they killed them? Were they thinking about other people's redemption when they sold them drugs that were probably laced with worse drugs that could have killed them? No. You have to stop letting yourself pick the side of evil. That's what you're doing. You're letting your emotions allow you to side with evil.
How much damage has really been done? And the problem, surely, far, far bigger. This is not so much a problem of public security. It's a problem of sovereignty, with the drug gang being able to take effective command of a number of areas in Rio and increasingly throughout Brazil as well, especially in these favela areas. Now, getting rid of this drug gang, who gave an impressive display of force with their reprisals yesterday, effectively...
You really get... I don't even think it's impressive. Honestly, if you played an FPS match, and it's first 1 to 100, and they score 4 and you score 100, would you say that they did impressive? I would say they got flopped. Like, this was a blowout. They got steamrolled.
Shutting the city down. Getting rid of this drug gang will require much more than military-style police operations. So there
what are going on, man? How did our society raise a bunch of flower sniffers who think evil doesn't exist?
Kinda.
The reason why is because they've never been.
I don't like that vehicle.
And they've never had to deal with it. The reason why a lot of people believe in redemption for criminals is because they don't have to be the recipients of the potential lack of redemption. So these people have no problem talking about, oh, well, I care about, rehabilitating people, etc. But they never have to be the victims of that rehabilitation process should it go badly. So that's the reason why you have so much of this this empathy for criminals. It's because a lot of the people that have the empathy never have to actually...
Dude, there's a lot of people online. I can't find a...
There's never any accountability for their empathy. They never have to be the one that has to, house an illegal alien that has, a criminal record in their house. It's easy to humanize criminals when they're not victims or in any way relate personally. Yeah, exactly. Like, they don't know what it does to these people. It's sympathy, not empathy.
So you believe that all criminals are just inherently bad people who should be locked away forever? I think that if you're working in you're in a drug gang and you have the police raid you and you get shot, I think this is a Rip Bozo situation. You shouldn't have been there. You shouldn't have put yourself in that situation. You knew what you were doing. You knew what you were getting into. And that's what happened. That's it. You put words in your mouth? Yeah, just go back perm ban him. Yeah, I didn't even say that.
Criticisms here on there are those who see this as a huge success,
of course,
and there are criticisms that this isn't particularly effective.
All right, then I'm going in my own game.
It's far more effective to get a handle on the finances rather than kill the foot soldiers.
You can't get a handle on the finances. They're doing everything through crypto. They're doing it through international banks. It's harder to do. And also, to use the finances, people are going to use the finances, right? So if you kill the person that has the account, well, then nobody can use the fucking account. And you kill enough people with the accounts, then there's no more accounts. It's pretty easy to deal with. It's stupid. Like, what do you mean? You go after the finances. Going after the finances is only going to make these people oppress their own communities even harder.
And Tim, how has the Brazilian president been reacting to all of that? We've heard that he's horrified by the death toll, saying as well that the police in Rio launched this operation without notifying the federal government.
Yeah, based, because federal government could have been compromised. You realize that some of the gangs get their members are often lured in with the promise of legit work, only to be held at gunpoint to join a gang that they were not aware of? Yeah, it sucks. I guess we should just let them go out and kill people and sell drugs and terrorize the community then. I understand that from your perspective it might seem unfair or scary, but there are a lot of choices and things like this in life where there isn't really a good choice. There isn't a choice that has like no negative side effects. It's just that's not the way the world works. People are these are people that, you know, it's like you have the trolley problem. These are people who are too afraid to pull the lever because they don't want to kill one person, and they end up killing 100, but they tell themselves that because they didn't pull the lever, they're a good person. That's what it is.
Yes, he has said that. At the time of the operation, he was flying back from Malaysia, so he took knowledge of this early this morning, and he is perturbed by the death toll. Lula, always a consensualist, an attempt to build consensus. So he had emergency meetings with some of his ministers today, and he has sent a committee, including his justice minister.
And you can see all the clips. Are any of the clips of the actual people that were the killers? Did it show any of the drugs they had or the guns they had? Did it have the firefight at all? Did it show the drone footage dropping firebombs on the police officers? No. All they're showing is a bunch of crying women. That's it. Because they're trying to manipulate your emotions and make you act against your best interest. Because this, just like a lot of other types of media, is not out for your best interest. It has some sort of weird global agenda that they don't give a fuck about the best interest of Brazilian citizens or French citizens. They give a fuck about pushing their agenda. That's it. And you see how they replay the same crying women over and over and over. Complete manipulation.
To Rio to meet with the governor, Claudio Castro, who's a political opponent.
Never let that happen.
And at the moment, they are working hard to try and present a united front, to try and say all levels of the government need to be together in the fight against organised crime.
They do need. Yeah,
Tim,
true.
thanks so much for all of that. That's Tim Vickery, our correspondent in Rio.
Yeah, what a fucking joke, bro. Like, I just... When criminal gangs get caught, they turn into whiny babies. Congratulations to Brazil's police. Poverty is an excuse to do crime. Zero tolerance, good job. There are criminals denying human rights to others. Their own human rights got denied. I have no... Bro, base... Bro, see, YouTube is one of the only platforms that's, like, not really censored at all. So you actually have people to give their... Everybody in the comments is totally on favor with this. Yeah, like they're totally fucking on board with this. I'm so happy to see this. It's amazing, isn't it? So, it's going in. Yeah, this is just the comments.
Man, I'm very
right?
congested.
And
what can the best mechanic in LS do for you?
I'll keep doing it until all of this misplaced empathy is put in a box where it deserves. Right? Put it in a box, put it in the closet, put it away, and forget about it. because the amount of people right here, look at this here. This is somebody, thank you to civil police and military police. I hope these actions multiply throughout the country, Brazil. And this is obviously just some, I think this is Portuguese, I'm not really sure. Could be Spanish, I can't really tell the difference, to be honest. But yeah, you have actual citizens there that are saying that. YouTube's a good baseline on what normies think. Well, any platform that isn't biased is a good baseline. Platforms that are, that isn't censored. So like Reddit, you can never listen to what people say on Reddit and try to get a fair shake on that, because any conservative viewpoints are banned. So like you can't ever do that. You can't do it on TikTok either, because also TikTok is massively, what is this here? May there be no shortage of ammunition. Amen. Oh man, there's r/conservative? Yeah, right. Yeah, sure. And there used to be 50 other conservative subreddits. They all also got banned. And yeah, there it is. And this needs to be widespread in every nation. Yeah, El Salvador was the blueprint. El Salvador was the blueprint, and it was one of the worst criminals of all. Brazil was not his. It belongs to Brazilian people. Yeah, bro. I'm so glad to see YouTube comments calling this shit out, bro.
They came, they saw, they slaughtered. And as they decimated the planet of around 11% of its entire population, as many as 40 to 60 million people in Eurasia, they engaged in absolutely brutal warfare. This is what you get when you mess with us, was the message they left in their wake. Walking away from mountains of skulls, from great piles of hacked up bodies, where sometimes even the household pets were impaled. The Mongols weren't just unstoppable, they left the scariest calling cards in military history. Today we're going to focus on the greatest of all Mongolian warrior rulers, Genghis Khan, the man who brought together and unified the nomadic tribes of Mongolia. With him at the helm, the Mongol Empire became one of the greatest continental empires in history. Under
Alright, I got both those plates.
The Mongol tribes would embark on military campaigns that conquered lands far and wide, covering today's Russia, Ukraine, Hungary, Poland, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, China, and Korea, going as far as Southeast Asia, Persia, Syria, Turkey, and India, and making a right bloody mess of Iraq. Genghis Khan was a brilliant military leader, but his resume certainly tells us there was much more to this man than brute force. He developed trading systems and communication systems, and despite the total lack of mercy he showed toward his enemies, he was somewhat tolerant of those who lived under him where their culture and religion were concerned. Nevertheless, the Khan's strategy for conquering much of the planet included what you might call the specter of fear. If bells began to ring in your town and people started whispering that the Mongols were coming,
well, that's pretty tight.
The worst. You'd heard the talk. They didn't just conquer, they annihilated. The Mongols didn't take many prisoners, but at least they usually issued a warning. Submit to us or face our wrath. Take the knee and pay tribute, or we will unleash a hell on you that you couldn't have even anticipated in your worst nightmares. If war can be avoided,
that surf
good.
Blue's kind of
If
nice.
Not, so be it. We've warned you. That's us paraphrasing, but as you'll see now, it's what happened. The Pearls of the Orient. We'll start with one of the Mongols' lesser-known stories, a kind of subplot to the larger Mongol conquests. It's the story of the city of Termez in southern
That's even
Uzbekistan.
tighter.
It was the summer of 1220. Two of Khan's generals, the ultra-formidable fighters and strategists Subutai and Jebe, were busy in
That
Persia.
is really fucking
Genghis
sharp.
Khan was resting his
I
soldiers
like
and
that.
animals
That's what
somewhere
we're
in the
going with.
mountains to the south of Samarkand, Uzbekistan. That autumn, he moved south with
Secondary
his army toward
color.
the city of Termez. As usual, the people of Termez had been given the option to surrender. They decided not to do that, with historians now saying they were mighty proud of their city's fortifications. Like so many other foes of the Mongols, they mistakenly believed they could fend off a siege. They managed to hold off the Khan and his soldiers for 2 days, after which the city was overrun. Genghis Khan ordered his soldiers to get hold of every man, woman, and child. They were told to count the citizens and send them out into an open field. Every soldier was then given the number of people he had to slaughter. This was a small city compared to some of the other cities we'll talk about today. Nonetheless, slaughter is slaughter. As they got to the end of the massacre and the groans and screams were fading, a woman was seen running away. She was soon caught, but before they killed her like the rest, she presented a bargain. She told them she had swallowed a large pearl and they could have it if they spared her. Instead, they disemboweled her on the spot, and lo and behold, she hadn't been lying about the pearl. In fact, she'd swallowed a whole bunch of pearls, which got the Khan thinking. There were pearls in the city, and other people might have had the same idea as this woman. so he ordered his soldiers to disembowel every last person and go through their insides looking for pearls or other jewels. Now let's dig a little bit deeper. Excuse the pun. The Battle of Kalka River. Many of you will have heard of the Ukrainian region of Donetsk Oblast because of the recent fighting that's happened there with Russia. But long before Vladimir Putin was sending soldiers there, the Mongols were doing damage on a much bigger scale, led by the generals we just mentioned, Jebe and Subutai. Both these men were campaign masters, having already led conquests all over Central Asia by the time they got to Ukraine. On this occasion, they were going up against a strong coalition of Rus principalities. The Rus were a people spanning part of Eastern Europe, originally Norsemen, who were woven into the historical fabric of what is today Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. In this particular battle, it looked for a while as though the Rus armies were winning. They chased the Mongol hordes away. The Mongols, who were exceptional military strategists, were only retreating as part of a larger plan, spreading out their men and so spreading out the chasing armies. They stopped and got into battle formation at the Kalka River. It was the Cumans who got there first. These were nomadic people from the steppes of Central Asia. Alone against the Mongols, they were beaten with ease. Historians can't agree on how many men died. Neither do they agree on who had the larger army. But it seemed that the Rus outnumbered the Mongols, which was often the case. The Mongols were just better soldiers, faster and more skilled, while their generals were smart and usually had spies. We'll talk more about that soon.
I get
This Rus coalition was eventually defeated, but not before some of the princes of the Rus told the Mongols that they'd pull back their soldiers if they were guaranteed safety. The Mongols agreed.
We're gonna go with the ducktail.
They soon took all the princes and leading nobles to be executed. But as the Mongols had a rule about not shedding the blood of nobles, they proceeded to execute these men in a unique and savage fashion. They erected a kind of scaffold and placed large pieces of wood on it. They then set up tables and chairs for a victory party. Only below the wood, propping it up, were the nobles. When the Mongols celebrated eating, drinking, and dancing, the nobles were slowly crushed to death below. This was supposedly a respectful death, but oh boy, it sounds slow and agonizing. In terms of victims, it was also a small-scale event for the Mongols. The deletion of the Khwarezmian Empire. A large land empire in history you might not have heard of was the Khwarezmian Empire, which covered much of present-day Central Asia, Afghanistan, and Iran. This was a powerful empire and one that really got on the wrong side of what turned out to be the more powerful Genghis Khan. In 1219, the Mongols went after the fortified town of Otrar in present-day Kazakhstan. The governor of Otrar, known as Inalchuk, was particularly disliked by Khan. Around a year earlier, the Mongolian caravan consisting of around 450 people plus a diplomat sent by the Khan had been massacred in Otrar. The Mongol caravan had brought with them gold and other luxury goods to exchange for the empire's famous Khwarezmian fabrics. Inalchuk murdered them all, down to the last person. No one's really sure why he did this. Some historians say he thought that there were spies in the caravan, which, knowing the Mongols, there probably were. Maybe Inalchuk just wanted these Mongolian valuables, although that would be strange, as his city was a major trading hub on the Silk Road, and caravans passed through it all the time. Massacring traders was not good for business. Whatever the reason of the massacre, the camel driver survived and got word back to Khan. The Mongol leader was furious. Even so, at first he sent 2 Mongol diplomats and a Muslim diplomat, the Khwarezmian Sultan Muhammad II, with the message explaining that he wanted Inalchuk to be punished. The Sultan was evidently not afraid of Khan. He subsequently had the Muslim diplomat beheaded, and he cut off the beard of the 2 other men, which was seen as very hiss. This act had been known as one of the most consequential hisses in world history. What happened next might be one of the biggest overreactions in history, but let's remember, this was more about the balance of power than the death of a few men. The Mongols under Genghis Khan soon besieged the city of Otrar, a siege that lasted
damn!
It might have lasted much longer had a sub-commander for Otrar's army, a man named Koracha, not become a traitor and open the gates of the city. The Mongols piled in, slaughtering every single man, woman, and child. Koracha, who thought he was now on the good side of the Khan, went with his men to the Mongol side. They were all slaughtered too, with Genghis Khan saying you can never trust a traitor. As for Inalchuk, he barricaded himself in one of the city's inner citadels, where he was surrounded by the last of his army. He managed to keep the Mongols back for a month, but in the end the fight was hopeless. All this time the Khan had told his men, do not kill him, bring him to me alive. Even when Inalchuk was on top of a roof resorting to throwing tiles at the Khan's men, they made sure not to kill him. Inalchuk was eventually captured.
The craziest psyop in our entire country is not only the fact that we have Democrat politicians voting to destroy us, literally voting to destroy us.
A bike. I need to win that bike.
It's also voting to destroy us. You don't understand how bad it's gotten. So Donald Trump finally makes a tweet about it.
Go on, bike. It's not gonna be the bike. It's gonna be 40 grand.
Moron somebody having a terrible day, and Trump is doing this in response to this. Moron somebody posting happy tax day New York where taxes are in.
You know what? We can go bet on let's go bet on the ponies.
Today, we're taxing. Yeah, a little creepy, a little rapey. I'll just show you in a second, but I covered this recently.
I'm thrilled to announce we secured a pied-à-terre tax, the first in New York's history. This is an annual fee on luxury properties worth more than $5 million.
Which is basically all properties in all of New York.
Whose owners do not live full-time in the city. Like for this penthouse.
So this is me, standing in front of a guy's penthouse, a guy who did nothing wrong, who probably worked hard.
I forgot.
Didn't do any crimes or anything. And I'm going to talk to you about how we're going to rape this guy. This is the foreigner communist way. We import the retards into our country. The retards get together. They vote for retards to represent us. And then the retards that represent us talk about how they're going to rape us. Because
Bet with house money. Yeah, he's gonna drop off. Stolen. Oh, and number 2, 5. Oh, come on, number 2, yes! All right, I won 5 G's. All right, my lucky day. Since we're playing with the house money now, let's run over and try a hand of blackjack. And then we'll go out for flapjacks. I usually play roulette because I can sit there for a while, not really lose a whole lot of money. But let's go for some fat cash here.
This is real, by the way. This isn't parody.
5 G's, let's do it.
Elmo and I are here to wish all of you a happy
Come on.
birthday.
Give me your shit hands.
I'm so proud
Look
of
at
your
that.
heritage, and I'm so happy to share this month with my fellow Arabs and Elmo. So, thanks, Habibi.
So essentially, they're gonna hit me.
Oh, it's an Arabic word for a special.
God damn it.
10. Dealer wins.
Yeah, so, yeah, we understand what's happening.
And now your bets.
We are here. Oh, shit.
I can try another hand. And win my money back. Oh, you bitch.
Anyway, it's pretty wild watching this happen in front of our eyes.
10.
Oh my god, it's brutal. It's just absolutely
Would you like
so yeah, this is
Yeah, I'd like another card, stupid.
There's an 18. Do you want another card?
Here's Ilhan Omar actually getting asked
There's a
about
13.
the fraud.
Another card?
So well. It goes so well. So they asked her
19. Would you like another card?
Just like it's
What is your move?
I think it's what now 230 million. That has
15.
been.
And the house is bust.
All right, so I won my money back.
Yeah, 230 to 250. There's been
Back to playing with their money.
About 20 million when the number's 250 million. Like just
We're gonna do one more hand.
All bets are closed. It's time to play.
Fucking deal me something decent.
That's a 16.
Oh, you.
Many of them have taken
God, I hate you.
A 21.
Yeah.
That's
it might
19.
be just things to do with it. We gotta get her out of the country.
All right.
You take care of that now.
It doesn't make it hard for me, but it does make it hard for
The American taxpayers never getting defrauded by Somalis. Is that what you're gonna say?
the average Somali business.
It is crazy how all of them have the same mindset. 9/11 was really hard for the Muslims that didn't do 9/11 that are going to get dirty looks on the subway. Oh, and Somalis raping you and scamming you, that's going to make it really hard for Somalis to get dirty looks on the subway. It's like, it's literally insane. Now, this is literally the thought process for all of these people.
It makes it hard for the average immigrant business owner. It makes it hard for the average black.
Blacks most affected. Are we being serious here?
Business owner, because it does create this cloud of suspicion, and and obviously it's become very politicized.
I wonder why. We imported literal fucking retards into our country. Look, I don't want to be racist here today, but these people are actually retarded, and we are importing them into our countries, okay? And they are raping us and scamming us blind, all right? Opening up hearing centers with seemingly government assistance to scam the shit out of us. And we're supposed to sit here and be like, oh, actually, this is getting to retard. Don't want to listen to it.
And it will continue to be politicized as we get closer to November. And the level of harassment. Even
what about the actual victims of these scams, the American taxpayers that are giving money to the government, which is going to Somali terrorist organizations? But what about those guys? The actual victims. Not the nebulous retards that get dirty looks. All right, not those guys. The non-victims. I mean the real victims.
They'll have people go to restaurants, shops, with their cameras.
Oh no! Someone's gonna take a camera to a coffee shop? Like, I'm being serious. Honestly, it's insane, bro. I don't worry about the taxpayers victimized by the fraud. No! But it's everything. It's everything. Maybe. Now, understand the psyop, because there are retards on both sides of the horseshoe that are touching tips, as they say. Alright, so this is Ilhan Omar praising Candace Owens.
Been very fascinating, especially about Marjorie and Candace, is that they are not just coming out like the other ones that you'd mentioned, where they're saying this action is wrong, right? They're saying I am done with it. We should give them.
Yeah, Candace Owens says that our military should stop following lawful orders and disobey the military because we're occupied by Jews. So anyone that dies in the military is secretly dying for the Jews. So
oh god damn it, this isn't my...
Also, Charlie Kirk was assassinated by Donald Trump.
I'm so used to playing my other character.
Egyptians that are Sumerian using ancient alien technology. Anyways, you got a shout out from Ilhan Omar right now. Like, do you understand yet? Do you understand the psyop that's happening right in front of us? I don't even know if she's still in the United States, man.
Yeah, I mean, how deranged do you have to be upset at the Pope for preaching about peace and love?
Your religion calls for the execution of the Pope because the Pope, according to Islam, is a polytheist. All right, like again, who's your faith against you? But this is how they operate everywhere.
In the spirit of Jesus Christ, and so it is telling that these people that people of faith that they are far from
you're one to talk. Your faith calls for the execution of the Pope. All right, and you're gonna sit there and you're like, they should voting for my party, where we murder babies and we castrate children.
Far from practicing Christianity and having respect for the Bible and
anyway, again, it's insane that this is happening. Like, this is humiliating. It's humiliating that we have retards like this talking like this. It's insane. Now, I want to make this clear. There is a bipartisan and we need a mass culling. All right, this is going to be my duty. This is why I make videos even while I have no monetization on my channels right now. Because unfortunately, I think things need to be said. And I get a lot of people calling me up and, oh my god, a Jew is making...
I gotta have something on level 3. Because I swear this guy's got more cars than this.
God damn it. Someone needs to talk about this because we need to cull our politicians. Legally speaking, we need them all out and we need to elect radical motherfuckers in their place. Right, so this is Thomas Massey. He's anti-Trump. He's pro-releasing the Epstein files, which I agree with. I'm also pro-releasing the Epstein files, and I'm happy he did work on that. But this guy sucks. As chairman of the House 2A caucus, I will testify today before Rand Paul Senate Homeland Security Government Affairs Committee. The hearing will examine
No, I
ongoing
guess
threats to
not.
American rights to keep and bear arms. All right, that's huge. All right,
All
rights
right.
to bear arms is
I
massive.
wanna
fully support Americans bearing arms.
get into a
It's
public,
the Constitution. It's super important.
a public
All right, I'm
match.
excited to look into this. I clicked the link to watch this on YouTube, and within literally 1 second, Massey is talking about how background checks are racist against blacks. This is our based right-wing guy. Are we being real here? All right. And so obviously this guy goes to check immediately to see if that's true, and it is.
Report. And what we've discovered through my friend John Lott, who's an economist and a statistician and an author, is that there's inherent racism in the NICS background check system. Because it's sloppy and they check only phonetically similar names, when you go to purchase a gun, you can be deprived of purchasing that gun. And the appeals process can get messy to prove you're not the same person that they think is the person who's prohibited.
All right.
It turns out if you're a black American or Hispanic, you're far more likely to share a name phonetically with somebody who's a prohibited person who's been convicted of a crime of a year that has a punishment of a year or more.
Like, are we being real here for a second? Is this honest? Like, I think that people should be able to buy guns. Guns are awesome. But I think that some people, specifically retards and violent criminals and, people with mental illnesses and stuff, shouldn't be accepted to purchase firearms. And he's like, well, we shouldn't even background check these guys because the background checks are racist against black people. Like, this is shocking, man. It's crazy watching this. Thomas Massey presents. this is the craziest tweet I've ever seen. Thomas Massey presents the libertarian case for letting Haitians rape your wife and eat your pets. Oh my fucking god. Like, the argument is not that, well, your name sounds phonetically similar to other people because black people tend to use because they tend to have family members in specific communities that commit crimes. Look, man, I hate to bring up the 1350 statistics, but we're literally there. He's like, more black people get arrested, so therefore more names sound phonetically similar, so background checks take a little longer. Like, man, what are we doing here, bro? This is our base right-wing politician, man. Like, what are we doing? And it gets worse. Right, so this is a former Democratic guy, big fan. Obama loved this guy. Former Democratic Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax shoots and kills wife before taking his own life. What are we doing? Insane. This should become like the largest national story. Justin Fairfax just murdered himself and his wife. All right, and you'll notice we're alive in this world. That is no place for racism in America. Justin Fairfax. Who tried to ban your gun? This is the super anti-gun guy who killed his wife and son himself. Right? This doesn't exist.
So we're at the park.
97,000 copies of his own book. Total 97,000. That person is 2/3 of all copies of his book. He used tax money to buy his own book. To A, make money, and B, inflate the numbers. How is this not fraud? In my opinion, it is fraud. But this is utterly unacceptable. We are ready to get this sold out and raped by our own government on every side of the aisle. All right, so for example, everyone hates fraud, right? Everyone can work together against fraud. Nick Shirley is proposing a lot of fraud. Well, the California Democrats are pushing the Stop Nick Shirley Act, a new bill to arrest people that investigate fraud. I'm not even kidding. Force, not to arrest the fraudsters, but to arrest the people investigating fraud.
Outrageous. I just made a motion in the Assembly to block the Mia Bonta bill.
Motion to re-refer AB 2624, the Stop the Nick Shirley Act, back to the Privacy Committee. Assembly Republicans are here to debate fraud. Mr. Tamayo, for the Stop Nick Shirley Act. The reason why we are asking to re-refer to the Privacy Committee is that the author of this bill misrepresented contents of the bill lying to committee members.
That were basically banning Nick Shirley from posting videos exposing fraud in California.
Oh my god, I had no idea this is what we were doing. It's called the Stop the Nick Shirley Act. What are we doing?
6218.19 prohibits an individual from posting a video online if the fraud organization says you can't do that. The fraud organization, what? And declaratory relief.
Are we being serious? This is insane.
Competent jurisdiction. we have got to stop this bill. And I just gave the state assembly members the chance to strike the bill from the record, which basically killed the bill. Democrats in the state assembly voted to and protect her bill and advance it on.
Do we understand the insanity that we're dealing with here? Look how absolute insanity we're dealing with. We've got Democrats trying to push the Stop Nick Shirley Act to stop investigating fraud. We're literally getting so. And I worked my ass off right now. The channel does not, that's not making any money. Fuck YouTube. We're working on that. I'll let you know if anything changes. But meanwhile, I'm doing this shit for free. I'm unemployed. Desperately unemployed. Anyway, so the point that I'm making is, so we have the Democrats out here doing their absolute best to arrest people that investigate fraud. I pay taxes that goes to the government that the government uses to pay people to stop people from investigating how my taxes are going to fraud. We are getting unfathomably raped by our government. And again, I showed you a Democrat issue. Well, this is also a Democrat issue, let's be real. But it's also a Republican issue. 6 Republicans joined the Democrats.
Well, that was a load of shit and a waste of time.
Becomes days after Haitian murdered an innocent mother with a hammer. The GOP has a rhino problem.
I forgot about the mine. I can't believe I survived.
Or rather, a bunch of illegals that broke into our country illegally and were here for a couple of years. And these others is honestly just complete insanity. Look at this. Look at it, bro.
I don't like this car.
So obviously, Democrats hate us and want us raped. Just obviously, that's what Haitians in our country.
You get me another car. It's got to be at my apartment. I got to have other cars. I hate the rain! Get out of my way! I forgot I had that stupid apartment. That's my clubhouse. My house is over here. You shut your mouth. I'll punch you right in the face. I don't know why people gotta try me. Always gotta try me. No, it's this one down here.
What are we doing here? This is crazy. It's crazy. And the wildest part is,
yeah, see, I got some
guys, 6 quote-unquote Republicans joining the Democrats. It's like, I'm in the position of, I know the Democrats are a fraudulent organization that's trying to rape our country, import immigrants, and steal votes. Okay, I've already accepted that.
You know what, I'm doing the Camaro.
Like, they need to lose their next elections immediately. And this is what we have to do. This is how we save our country. We have to cull the retards that vote this way. If they do this once, they're out. They will lose their next election.
Got wheelie bars on it.
No, I'm not. The radical position is letting third worlders into our country to rape and kill us. The moderate position is removing them. Like, and bro, the Haitians are not like your average little, like a gang in some ghetto in Detroit. Like the gang in ghetto in Detroit, these are like, good guys, alright? Let's be real. The Haitians are 70 IQ. On average, like, I'm literal real statistics. I'm not trying to be racist. I don't want to import people from countries where they can eat your organs and think that you'll catch this metal inside their skull. We are dealing with a different being. Again, I'm definitely getting a little lazy here. The point is very simple. Our country is pretty awesome, and I don't want to bring it to once again, so modern. And like, you look at Haiti, I don't if they couldn't make their country not a shithole, then why do I think they're going to improve on it? It's just really basic. Haiti's average IQ is 67. 40% and they're a homicide. 10x higher than America. 10% of all Haitians live in the U.S. What actual fuck are we doing? Whoa, oh my god. Like the random gay rich part. Hateful people are less intelligent according to science. It's not hateful to want to deport the Haitians. Alright? I love my neighbors so much. I don't want them to get their organs eaten by a 67 IQ person from Haiti. Okay, you want to be real here for a second? It is hateful to let them rape us. Alright? It is loving to want to deport them and protect ourselves. Just because you have this moral retard situation going on between your ears, it doesn't mean we all have to fall for the psyop. Like, this is absolutely insane. Six Republicans voted for Cuba in here? Like, what are we doing?
Give me a sec.
The supplies we need just got confiscated by the cops. Attract some police attention, and the patrol should bring them right to you.
It's just like the classic lawfare to destroy us. Like, I'm just being real here, man. This is treason. It really is. Like, Donald Trump is the elected president of the United States. We're going to try to impeach him on bullshit charges and reasons. Our country hates him. Our country hates him. Our government is not working for us. Especially the Democrats, obviously. I think these guys have completely sold their souls to some otherworldly being, preaching the most satanic doctrine of actual laws you can possibly imagine. Steal money from people that earn it and give it to people that don't. Abort babies, castrate children. You know, it's like, it's actually insane. Then you have a couple of retards on the right that join and lock hands with them. I don't know why. Were they paid off? Did they fall for the psyop? Are they just honestly believing what they're saying? Are they infiltrators? I don't know. I don't know. But they need to go. And we need to elect a new generation of some of the most radical motherfuckers of all time. Slowly but surely, we will take our country back.
So Moses met up with his brother Aaron and filled him in on their mission to liberate the people of Israel from slavery. Then the two of them returned to Egypt and got the elders of Israel on board with the plan by performing some miracles in front of them. And then they came before the Pharaoh. Hey, Pharaoh, remember me? We used to be family, till I killed that guy and ran away. What? I don't know what I just said. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do the talking, bro. Hail, your majesty. We, your servants, humbly request that you will
Fuck, I don't have anything I can shoot that down with.
3 days venture into the wilderness in order that we can hold a festival to the Lord our God. No. Hey, taskmasters? Yes, your majesty? Apparently, the Hebrews have so much time on their hands that they can afford to take 3 days off from work. So there's no need for you to provide them with straw to make bricks. According to Aaron and
The
Moses,
dude blow up my car.
more than enough time to collect it themselves while keeping to their
Yes.
daily quotas. It will be done.
Fucking dick.
Anything else? Aaron, try that staff thing I did before. Huh, good idea. Behold, the power of the Lord. That one's a lot bigger than before. I guess my staff's a grower, not a shower. Oh, we'll see who have the biggest staffs. Sorcerers? Yes, your majesty.
Oh! That startled me.
That'll be the last time you underestimate the size of my brother's staff. Oh, you were making dick jokes.
Oh, sorry about the smell. Spilled a gallon of deer urine.
So the Israelites had to continue toiling under the Pharaoh's rule. Way to go, Aaron and Moses. You said you'd convince the Pharaoh to let us go, but all you've done is make us stink in his eyes. And also in his nose. We haven't had time to bathe in like 2 weeks. Worry not, brethren. This is all according to the Lord's plan. Hey, Moses, what's the Lord's plan? Well, the Pharaoh should be showing up here around... Ah, there he is now. Alright, you're gonna go up to the riverbank and... Okay, and then Boris puts it in the salad, right? Oh my rod, no, for real, for real. Behold! Oh boy, these clowns again. By this you shall know the name of the Lord in all caps. Ah, jeez. Will this have a negative economic impact?
That is some great money. Get stuff, Rick.
Yeah. A simple parlor trick, your holiness. Any sorcerer worth their salt can turn water to blood with their eyes closed. See? Okay, but can you turn all this blood back into water now? We'll get back to you. Hey, that was pretty cool. The Lord's badass. See, my brothers, by the mighty hand of the Lord our God, we'll be liberated in no time. Right, Moses? Right, Moses? Right, Moses? Right? Okay, these Hebrews and their the Lord are starting to piss me off. Be troubled no longer, Fire. Watch and be amazed by our superior powers. What the hell, guys? You said to make a frog spout. Yeah, to get rid of the frog, not make more. Oh, wow, that's our bad. We totally misunderstood the project. Your Majesty, Aaron and Moses have arrived. Behold, the Lord has plagued your borders with frogs, for you have not humbled yourself before. Yeah, enough theatrics. How about we just make it easy? Yes, please. I just want this to be over. Tell you what, you have the Lord get rid of these frogs, and I'll let the Hebrews have their 380 again. Done deal. You heard him, God. Ha, idiot, you just gave away all your leverage. Now I have no reason to let your people go. But that's not what you promised. Yeah, employed an advanced political tactic called lying. Man, you do suck at negotiation. Way to go. Listen, your pharaohness, you gotta understand that the longer this goes on, the worse it's gonna get for you and your people. Our God is not messing around. I think I can handle your God if he's half as easy to afford as you are. So by all means, show me what you got, the Lord. Hands full of lice, flies, and dermatologic conditions. Sorcerers, have you devised a cure for this latest plague yet? Well, just to be clear, do you want more boils or fewer boils? I want 0 boils. Okay, back to the drawing board then. Is the economy holding up at least? Hey, I don't know if this is a bad time, but apparently everyone's livestock dropped dead last night. I hate to admit it, but perhaps my pride has led me astray. The might of the Lord is undeniable, and the only way out of this might just be to let his people go. Actually, I don't care what you throw at me, the Lord, I'll never let his people go. So, I enjoy seeing our oppressors face the wrath of the Almighty as much as the next guy, but the elders are wondering how long this is supposed to go for. It'll go until God decides he's shown enough of his signs and wonders. If the Pharaoh comes to his senses before then, God will just harden his heart so that he's doing what he really wants. Well, that raises some questions about free will that I don't feel like grappling with right now. I'll think of something more shallow and feel-good to tell the masses. You're a natural-born leader, Aaron. Hey, I bring a message from His Majesty the Pharaoh. It says... Each figure. The Locust will leave if he changes his mind. Locust? What Locust? Don't move! Anybody got eyes? Hello? Just the man I was looking for. Good. Yeah, I had to get dressed in the dark this morning. Thanks for that. Oh, well, actually, I think this look kind of works. This is why I called for you specifically, Moses. You can't bullshit me to save your life. Now, let's see if we can meet in the middle somewhere. I already know how this will end, but given what'll happen next, I know I have to at least try and get through to you. How about you Hebrews have your little holiday here in Egypt? That's not gonna work, because, well, what do you think the locals will do when they see a bunch of foreigners sacrificing to another god? We won't make good slaves if all of us get stoned to death. Wait, exactly how many of you are supposed to go on this trip? You know, the young and old, the men and women, everyone? Everyone! I'm getting the feeling this is more than a 3-day trip you're planning. New deal. You can all go, but you have to leave your livestock here for when you return. Well, like I just said, we're going to be sacrificing to the Lord, but he hasn't yet told us exactly which animals we're supposed to... And who exactly is the Lord to you? What makes him more important to worship than the great gods of Egypt? The great gods of Egypt? Yeah, Egypt is the most powerful nation on Earth because we have the most powerful god. Like who? Like Happy, god of the Nile. He get rid of all that blood from the first plague? Well, there's also Isis, right, because she's done a great job protecting you from pestilence and famine these past few weeks. We have Ra, the almighty god of the sun. Oh yeah, look how great Ra's doing right now. How do you not get by now that you're up against someone greater than all your little statues? Someone who controls everything in nature, from the sun and moon to your own will. The whole point of all these signs and wonders has been to make this fact as clear as possible, and they won't end until you get that message through your skull! Well, I'm disappointed this discussion wasn't more productive. The next time you come back
What a
here,
fucking
you'll have
prick.
to take your issues up with my headsman. Don't worry, I won't be bothering you again. And then Moses warned Israel of one final plague upon Egypt. At evening, each household sacrificed the lamb and smeared its blood on their lintel and doorposts. That night, the Lord went through Egypt, and he passed over all homes on which he saw the blood of sacrifice. But in each household that did not make a Passover sacrifice, he killed every firstborn. From the firstborn of the Pharaoh to the firstborn of the prisoner in the dungeon and the firstborn of the livestock. And there was a great cry throughout Egypt, such as there had not been nor will be ever
Looks
after.
like that didn't work. Go back to the business if you want to look for supplies elsewhere.
Can go. Take your men, women, children, and elderly, and all your livestock, and worship the Lord in the wilderness. It's time for you to exit us. And so all of the Israelites marched out of Egypt, but not before borrowing a bunch of jewelry from their neighbors. Let's just consider it reparations. And God led his people out of the land inside a pillar of cloud. Hey, good job, Moses. I'm just glad this is almost over. I figure from here we just head straight east. Oh, no. If the Philistines try and pick a fight, everyone will just get scared back to Egypt. So instead, you're gonna head southeast and camp at the sea near Pi-Hahiram. I've got a little something planned for us there. What do you mean by that?
Can't get up on any of these buildings.
What do you mean by that? Meanwhile, back in Egypt, God once again hardened the hearts of the Pharaoh and his servants, and the Pharaoh mustered 600 chariots to go after his slaves. Meanwhile, the Israelites soon arrived at the coast of the Red Sea, and when they saw the Pharaoh's army approaching, they all fell into a panic. We're trapped! There's nowhere to go! We're screwed! Whose idea was this? Now, people, calm down. The Lord have to take us out because there wasn't enough graves in Egypt. We didn't even want to leave. Yeah, why did you explain? What kind of nothing. Wow, you guys are right. All must have been for nothing. I got tossed into a river as a baby, spent the first half of my life in a palace and the other half herding sheep, then got dragged all the way back here for nothing. An all-powerful being chose us, some slaves in a foreign land, to be his people for nothing. And then he brought the greatest nation on earth to its knees 10 times over for nothing. Don't you people get it? Those signs and wonders weren't just for the Egyptians. They were to show all of us that we're meant for something greater than any person or nation. And our story won't be ending here. If you couldn't tell that from the start, then you're just as blind as the Pharaoh. Hey, look who's finally starting to get it. Now, if you're feeling up to the job, it's time to perform one more sign/wonder. The pillar of cloud then moved behind the Israelites, preventing the Egyptians from pursuing further. And Moses raised
Go look
his
for
arm
trouble.
to the sea, and the Lord parted the water so that the Israelites could cross straight through, walking on dry land with walls of water to their right and left. Then the Egyptians were allowed through, and they drove after the Israelites into the sea. But God drove their chariots and sent them into a panic. And once the Israelites had all moseyed safely to the other side, Moses again stretched out his hand, and the waters returned, drowning the Egyptians. Was that a good enough sign for you? More than enough. I will not doubt your divine will again. Yes, you will. Yeah, I will. I kind of hate being a prophet. Yeah, but you're good at it when it counts. Touche. Anyway, with all that business behind us, it should be, what, a couple of weeks from here to the promised land? In theory. What do you mean by that? What do you mean? So after the Exodus part of Exodus, the Israelites traveled through the desert of Shur, and after 3 days without finding water, they came upon a spring.
It's bitter. What are we supposed to drink now? We're all gonna die. Not to worry. The Lord's power isn't just in creating clay. Yeah, I just need to take this tree and... It's clean now. Wherever we find ourselves in need, the Lord shall provide for us. The only catch is that we have to make sure to follow all of his laws. All right, sounds reasonable. No big deal. So what are his laws? I'd love to know. The Lord operates on his own schedule. Then they went into the desert of Sin, and it was around this time that their provisions began to dwindle. Did you drag us all the way out here just to starve to death? You could have at least killed us in Egypt with a full stomach. We're all gonna die. Hey now, everything. What are you whining at us for? It was the Lord who brought us out of Egypt, and he'll be sure to remind you of that tonight when he saves us again. And that evening, a bunch of quail dropped dead on the ground for the Israelites to eat. Then the following morning, the desert floor was covered in mysterious flaky substance. Man, what is this? It's manna, the bread of the Lord. Everyone gather as much as you need. It'll cover the camp 6 days a week, and there'll always be enough to feed us all. Ah, cool. Awesome. The Lord does it again. Good too. Then the Israelites traveled to Rephidim, where they again ran out of water. My whole family is about to keel over. Is the Lord even here with us? We're all gonna die. Oh gee, I wonder if the Lord can get us out of this one. It's not like he's already saved our asses a dozen times. Okay, I'll see what I can do. And under God's direction, Moses took the people to a rock and struck it with his staff, and water flowed out of it. Oh, wow. Sorry for almost stoning you, Moses. Guys, the Amalekites just started attacking the rear of the camp. The Lord has forsaken us! We're all gonna die. Shut up! Joshua! So, do you know how to use that sword? Didn't come with a manual, but it seems straightforward enough. We'll get as many men as you can and prepare for battle by morning. I'll be at the top of that hill with my staff. Tight. And Joshua led the Israelites in battle with the Amalekites. And Moses stood at the top of the hill with Aaron and Hur. This is Hur, by the way. He's just a guy. And whenever Moses had his arms raised, the Israelites prevailed. But whenever he put them down, the Amalekites overtook them. As the battle raged on, Moses' arms grew tired. So Aaron and Hur sat him down on the rock and held his arms up for him. And by sunset, Joshua and his men sent the Amalekites running. After the Israelites finally made it to Mount Sinai, they were visited by Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, along with Moses' wife and sons. Oh yeah, apparently Moses sent his wife and sons back home to Jethro at some point, and Jethro went into the camp to see his son-in-law. Yeah, I think the Lord might have messed up. This manna has worms in it. When did you harvest that manna? Just, yesterday morning. What did I say about stashing manna before Friday? Oh, I think you said we're not supposed to. And it turns out there's a good reason why. Maybe listen next time and you won't have to ask me any stupid questions. Next. Hey there, Mo. Jethro, what are you doing here? Well, I knew something was up when Zipporah and the kids came in. Not long after, we start hearing about some mysterious new god doing a number on the Egyptians and leading the Hebrews all here. I decided I had to see it for myself, and boy howdy, the Lord and his people really must be greater than all the gods in their nations. The Lord, no doubt. His people... a bit of a handful and a half. I tell them, here are some clear instructions directly from the ruler of the universe. If you deviate from these instructions, you'll get pissed off and bad things will happen. And you know what they do, Jethro? They don't follow the instructions! I don't know what the problem is. Am I speaking Akkadian? Am I? That's a serious question. No, you're not. I told them that every Saturday, their job is to do nothing. Just chill. Now, you might not think a free day off would be a hard sell, but Jethro, oh boy. Moses, is it just you in charge here? Well, technically the Lord is in charge, though I'm the only one he talks to. I've got my brother Aaron handling PR, but between you and me, that's about all he's good for. Well, no wonder you're losing your mind, Mo. This is no job for one man. Haven't you considered, I don't know, delegating your responsibilities? Delegate? Listen, find trustworthy men with good heads on their shoulders and have them serve as judges over their own portion of the camp. Any small matters they can deal with themselves, and anything really important they'll bring to you. That'll make things easier to handle, no? Oh, that's actually a good idea. Maybe I'll get around to doing that after the Lord finally decides to tell me the laws we're supposed to be following. Yeah, you work in mysterious ways, whatever. By the way,
Laura said something about having to circumcise your son one night. Can you explain what the hell that was about? The details were bizarrely cryptic. And on the third day that the Israelites camped at Sinai, the Lord descended upon the mountain with fire and blaring trumpets, declaring his commandments for all to hear.
I am the Lord thy God, which has brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, his son, his manservant son, his maidservant son, his ox, or his ass, or anything that is thy neighbor's.
Here. Oh, hey, Mo. Sorry if all that was a bit dramatic. You wouldn't think the Israelites would forget about my awesome power, but after all that whining and obstinance in the desert, I decided to remind them who they're dealing with. Can't say I blame you. You know how many times I caught them trying to harvest manna on Saturday? It's literally a free day off. I know! And I get extra manna on Friday, so what are they even going out for? I know! Well, despite the middling results of those first few trials, it's time that I start revealing my divine wisdom. Prepare to mark my words verbatim, Moses. What follows shall be the sacred law of your people. If you obey my voice and keep my covenant, you will be my treasure among all the peoples of the world, a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. We shall begin with property law. And Moses returned from the mountain and built an altar at its foot. Before all the people of Israel, he made sacrifices and read aloud the words the Lord had spoken to him. So, do you think you can follow all of these? Yeah, sure. Finally, I'll be able to settle all my ox-related disputes. Yeah, right on. You know, the slavery parts are quite progressive relative to our neighboring cultures. Then once more, God called Moses up to the mountain. So he appointed Aaron and Hur to be in charge in his absence and ascended with Joshua at his side. Hey, the Lord, don't you think it's a little much to ask an 80-year-old man to climb a mountain every time he needs to talk to you? Maybe you could just come down to the camp next time? That's funny. I was actually thinking the
Damn it!
same thing. But you see, I'm more of a glamping
Oh, come on!
So I came up with an idea for a portable temple that you guys can build for me. Oh, that'll work, I guess. I mean, how complicated could it be? Exactly. So you'll just take some acacia wood and... Over the 40 days and nights that Moses remained on the mountain, the Israelites became restless in the camp. Hey, what's taking your brother so long? We haven't heard from him or the Lord in over a month. I've settled all my ox-related disputes and bought all the slaves I can afford. I don't know what to do with my life next. Patience, my brethren. You must have faith that wishy-washy preaching isn't going to help you this time, Aaron. Yeah, we need gods to worship, and we need them pronto. Hey, don't look at me. I'm just a guy. So, to appease the Israelites, Aaron had them give him their gold, and he cast it all into an idol in the cat. Hey everyone, look, it's our Savior, the Lord. He was a furry the whole time. And the Israelites threw a feast in honor of their false god, which quickly devolved into scandalous revelry. Meanwhile, and so the altar will be made of acacia wood over rolled. Yes! Catching on. How many cubits in width? Hold that thought for a second, Moses. My blasphemy senses are tingling. It looks like my kingdom of priests has gone and broken my first commandment before I've even formally given it to them. That's got to be a record. I never should have trusted Aaron alone for so long. You should probably get out of here. It's about time I just wipe these people out and start it over. These guys turned out to be too damn stiff-necked. Tell me something I don't... Wait, what? Yeah, I've been thinking it over, and it only took like 600 years to turn Abraham's geriatric seed into a nation, so we can just start from scratch with you and be back on track in no time. Glad you're for it. Wait, if you're just gonna start over, what the hell was Egypt for? Are they gonna say you unleashed your wrath upon them for nothing? Just to send some slaves to their deaths? That you lied to Abraham, to Isaac, and Israel about making them a great nation? Well, when you put it like that, look, 600 years might not mean much to you, but for us, it's countless lifetimes that deserve to have meant something. All right.
Fucking head starting to hurt.
But you better go back and set them straight ASAP. Take these tablets of my covenant. You'll want to put particular emphasis on the first two items. Now don't make me regret this. You're all on thin ice from here on out. And Moses descended from the mountain with Joshua. It sounds like a battle going on down there. Worse, it's dubstep. I think this has gone a little out of hand. Look, I'm not good when Moses isn't here to tell me what to say. Once he comes back with more law to give, we can get everything back in order. Oh, you mean like this law? Moses, crazy thing, you know how these people are. They were getting on my case, telling me to make an idol for them to worship, and then they gave me their gold, and I tossed it in the fire, and out popped the Lord's persona. I had no part in this. Shut up, her, you don't do anything, you're just a guy. And Moses had the golden calf burnt and ground to dust, and he made the Israelites drink it in water. Then he called his kinsmen, the Levites, to his side. Every man take your sword.
I gotta log off. My head is killing me.
Kill all who have sinned against the Lord. Okie dokie. And as for you,
I'll be back on later, I think.
Oh,